extra, read all about it. Get your copies while they last. Stop the presses.
And now for something completely different.
Are you ready for a little truth? Are we not entertained? Wisdom is the proper use of knowledge and experience. There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. It's showtime! So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Now that's entertainment. Enlighten me a little. What you say is quite logical. And what did we learn? Prepare yourself for a little sensory overload. I came here for the truth. 7 years ago. Stand by the roll show intro. Roll show intro in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Hello, America, family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, and I am your host, Craig L. Hayes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the 8th of November, 2024, and we're going to have a little topic. We've already done a podcast or two on today on different subjects. Today I just felt like doing some subjects and having some discussion with everybody and anybody who listens to this show, and everybody who does. I appreciate you. If you listen to it and you like what you hear, please subscribe. It helps get the the stuff that makes it more available and put out there. Algorithm. That's what word I was looking for. I was like, woo. Anyways, today's this show, I'm going to just have a real quick 20-minute conversation with you. The topic of today is this, and I'm going to call this show this. Trump won. Now what? Very simple. He won. We're all tickled pink. Well, over half the country is tickled pink that he won. The rest of them are still losing their minds and fearing that the world has just ended for them. And in their world, it probably has, because they like big government. They love tyranny. They love their free speech being protected while everybody else is shut down. This is what the left likes. This is how they define democracy. They define democracy as only they're allowed to choose, and their government agencies, etc., are the ones that should be the only things that exist. That's not how it works. The people spoke. The Electoral College makes it clear that the nation's going to go into a different direction. So, Trump won. Now what? Let's make it simple. Let's keep it very simple for everybody, because we need to. We're dealing with people that have very simplistic minds. So what we'll talk about is this. What would I do if I was Donald Trump right now? I'll tell you right now, if I was Donald Trump and I'm the president, you'd be wishing Donald Trump was the president. But I'll go through a few of the things that I believe. Did you know that there's over 400, unless I'm saying this right, simple, 400 federal government agencies costing you, the enslaved people of America, because when anybody takes money from you for your labor, you're a slave. Remember that. They are costing you between $4 and $5 trillion a year. Let's be honest about it. 400 government agencies. Craig, you're President Hayes. What would you do today if you were president instead of Donald Trump? Well, I'm going to start off very simply. I am going to cut that number of 400 down to about 20. And I'm going to do that within a few months. We're going to lose 1 million federal employees and 300 government agencies that do nothing but interfere in your life and cost you money. Donald Trump may not go that far. I certainly would. I have no problem in causing unemployment of federal employees, government employees of all kinds. I really only care about the taxpayers that have been forced into slavery by the Democrat Party. I heard Donald Trump come out and say what his 10 points he's going to do to eliminate the swamp. I liked every one of them. You're going to see a drastic change going on in Washington, D.C. as he eliminates and fires so many people within the intelligence agencies, within the justice system, within the State Department, within the military. I would take it further. I would have such an overhaul, and all these agencies and people would be fired and gone, eliminated, not needed anymore. I would move most of the agencies, especially the FBI, out of Washington, D.C. I would shut down the J. Edgar Hoover building and turn it into a museum of corruption, of government and FBI corruption, and show the world, let them tour it, on how corrupt the FBI is and has become over the last 10, 12 years because of the Democrat Party. All the Democrat Party has done is turn the FBI into their personal Gestapo. You're all fired. We're going to start this again. We're going to move your main office out of Washington, D.C., and we're going to put you in Omaha, Nebraska, where it's not fun to live and you don't get to rub shoulders and elbows with senators and congressmen and cabinet members, etc. Justice Department, same thing. You're all fired. And we're going to find people who actually believe in the Constitution and are going to follow it with exactness and not violate people's rights, not spy on Americans, not make up charges and put people in jail for nothing like we've been watching. These are the things we need to do. Hopefully Donald Trump will start working on some of this stuff. I am probably a little more hardcore on this stuff than he is. What else would I do? Oh, let's talk about the border. Border sealed. You're done. Everyone that's coming across, turn them around, say, go back, you're not welcome. And if you have to use force on them, you use force on them to send them back. Just leave them in Mexico. Let Mexico deal with it. They let them come through. Let Mexico figure out how to get them out of their country. We don't want them in ours. Deputize every single law enforcement agency as federal agents and seek out illegal aliens and have them picked up by ICE and deported immediately. No hearings, no nothing. We're done with this stuff. It has to be finished. We're done with worrying about the so-called rights of people who came into our country illegally. They have no rights other than basic human rights. They don't get to participate in the Constitution of the United States when you're not a citizen of the Constitution of the United States. For all you criminal gangs that have come in here from Venezuela, MS-13, and all you other guys, it's very simple. You commit a crime. You've committed crimes here. We're going to execute you. We're just going to get rid of you. Your countries don't want you back. We're not going to keep you, so we'll take the charge of just executing and be done with it. We're not going to put up with it. See what I'm saying? You better hope that a Trump gets in there. No one like a Craig L. Hayes. Because Craig L. Hayes would not tolerate it for 1 second. Not one dime is to be spent on illegal aliens. No welfare, no medical care, no incarcerations, no education, nothing. $500 billion a year it costs us American citizens to do all these things for illegal aliens. BS. Total BS. We also make sure that employers know that if they're going to take and skirt the law and allow illegals to come into our country, that here's the fine. It's a $500,000 fine and 6 months in prison for every illegal you have working in your business. These people will deport themselves. There's no work here. There's no benefits. There's nothing here for them. If they commit crimes, they get the maximum punishment available. Perhaps life in their other country would be better. And if you're here illegally, we're going to take a picture, we're going to get your name, we'll get the whole 9 yards on you, and you're never, ever allowed to come to this country again. Never, ever allowed in this country again. We'll need to shut down the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is an unconstitutional body. It is bankers setting the interest rates for banks. What the hell sense does that make? Constitution says that Congress shall set the value of the dollar. This isn't nothing about a Federal Reserve. Boom. You're gone. You're done. I've written a paper on what it takes to make the new banking system and the Treasury Department work correctly. It's not that difficult. One day maybe I'll share it with everybody. These are just a few steps on the way to fixing things. By executive order, some of them, but Congress needs to get involved and start doing their job. Congress needs to start making things happen and make these things law and not just be able to turn around on executive orders. My first executive order would be very simple: close the border. Second would be to deport and deputize every law enforcement agency as immigration agents. My third order would be to repeal John F. Kennedy's unionizing of federal employees. End it now. Now you can get rid of these horrible federal employees, and then you start firing everybody. You want to see how fast it could be fixed? 6 months down the road, it's done. What about inflation? How would you fix inflation? Oh, it's very simple. Inflation is probably the easiest thing to fix out of all of this thing. It's called quit spending so much money. The only thing that causes inflation is federal governments spending money they don't have. Easy to fix. So easy to fix. You know, that $2 trillion deficit we're going to have this year because of Biden and his crap, that ends. We don't spend it. If we don't have it, we don't spend it. We start shutting down all these government agencies. We start putting all these people on unemployment and let them go find work in the private sector. And you want to see that budget come way down to not having to cost too much. Inflation goes way down. Congress sets the interest rate at 2%. Sets the value of the dollar and the interest rate at 2%. And then the banks can go from there. That brings down the cost of the national debt. We're at $1 trillion right now. We could probably knock that down to a couple $100 billion, maybe 300, 400 in no time at all if we did the job that we're supposed to be doing according to the Constitution. I know Democrats and Rhino Republicans do not like the Constitution because it tries to limit them. But we have to get back to this and get our Constitution back in force. So, there's a few things we can do. I would enjoy my first 100 days as President of the United States. But I think Donald Trump is going to enjoy it even more since he's been the most illegally, unconstitutionally prosecuted and persecuted person in the nation's history. A lot of work to do. It's going to require a lot of backbone on a lot of people and become very unpopular for a while. But within a few months to a couple years, this is could turn around and it could be amazing in this country. Oh, and the other thing on the illegal aliens, we have to enforce the 14th Amendment and make sure that people understand that just because they come across our border illegally and drop a baby, that baby does not become an American citizen. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that. 14th Amendment says very simply, all persons born in the United States and in its territories are American citizens. But they leave out a part that says, and subject to its jurisdiction, meaning that they're supposed to be here. They're allowed to be here. That they are here legally and subject to our jurisdiction. They can't create their own jurisdiction just by coming across the border illegally and saying, here, they're my baby's a citizen. Nope. It's not. Your child is not. Your children need to go away with you when you get deported also. You can't claim I have to stay because my 2-year-old son is a American citizen. It is not. He is not. They are not citizens. Nothing in the Constitution supports this. This was brought to us by the administrative state. Congress never said that children born here to illegal aliens were citizens. In fact, the Constitution says just the opposite. We enforce the Constitution. We enforce the rule of law. And we make Congress make a law that says exactly that. No more anchor baby status. We don't bring in the whole family over. Our borders are sovereign. We will be a sovereign nation. You will come here if we decide that you're needed here, not just because you want to be here and are willing to do anything to get here. So, for all you people that are upset about Donald Trump, maybe you should listen to this and be happy that he's there and not me. Our military would be the most powerful in the world again. Every nation in the world would sit there and be worried about doing anything to annoy us. That's what needs to happen. We need to have the most powerful nation and military in the world, but we never use our military unless we absolutely have to, and Congress authorizes it by saying we declare war on fill in the blank. Not, well, we guess we can go and use force on that nation. No more of that crap either. When we unleash the dogs of war, we unleash the dogs of war and just decimate anybody we go after. Not just have a show of force and drop a couple bombs and say, there, that'll teach you. No, we can do that too. But anyways, these are some of the things that I would like to see done by our 45th and 47th president. And I hope he even takes it further and really just decimates the swamp and those who seek to take and cause tyranny and destruction on this nation. CIA, you all need to be fired too. And we need to turn the CIA into a agency that collects information on our enemies in foreign nations and doesn't do anything whatsoever, any way, shape, or form, to overthrow other nations, presidents, and governments, etc., like that. They don't do anything other than collect information. That's their only job. Then the president can decide what he needs to do and get with Congress, and then they can take and make the actions they deem necessary. Lots of changes need to happen. They can happen really quick, and we can pull ourselves out of this really quick if someone has the guts to do it. And the people that have been elected, the people spoke. We're done with this crap that has been going on for 4 years with Joe Biden and his party having power. We're done with the swamp being an enemy of the people. We have the right to take our country back by any means necessary. Let's do it the peaceful way, or try to do it peaceful first. But other options need to be on the table, and I think they should be. So anyways, that's the show for today, or for this episode. And I'm going to do another one here in just a little while on another subject I think you're going to find somewhat interesting. And we need to keep fighting for our rights, keep fighting for our future. It's our children and grandchildren and the country they're going to inherit that's important, not the power of the Democrat Party. So until then,
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.